Today I'm going to discuss needs and desires. Do you ever feel that your list of wants, desires of things that you need to either accomplish, obtain, get, purchase, just never stops building up and building up? It doesn't matter how many items you cross out. Well, I've been there. When I was really young, I thought that maybe, just maybe, if I got a new bike, then I'll feel better. Or it really never happened to me that I put too much attention on clothing. That was really easy for me. But I know that I have my kids that are teenagers, and they're starting to put a lot of attention on, Mom, get me this next sweater, or you gotta be this brand or that brand. And I'm like, but you already have 20 sweaters that are perfectly in good condition in your closet. Can you mirror yourself in this situation? Do you feel that sometimes you have a closet full of clothing, or you already have the item that you really think that you need and want, but you still want another one because there's a new release? That could be your technology. You could apply to just about anything, including relationships, because nowadays, and I have a separate video on this, but we're starting to love objects and use people, and we gotta do a mind shift and rewire that. But first, we can start with addressing what is the difference between a need and a desire. Something I need is something that is really essential for my well-being, or to allow me to support my goals and what I'm trying to achieve in life. So for example, I live in the middle of a forest. I would like to, when I need to get to the city or do some work outside of this area, I would like to be able to walk or ride my bike like the old days when I was close to the proximity of a community. But right now it will take me weeks. So I need a car. Now, does that mean that because my car is like 12 years old or 15 years old or whatever, how old it is, and it perfectly is functioning just fine, it doesn't mean every once in a while, it doesn't have to visit the mechanic, but it's working well, it's performing, it's taking me from point A to point B. Do I need another car just because there is nicer vehicles out there? The answer is no, I don't need it. I may want it, I may desire it, but I already have a perfectly functional object that takes me from point A to point B and back. So a good thing to do from now on, if you do feel that you want to simplify your life, also to increase the money that you have in your wallet, but also the deposits in your heart. Because by starting to divert your attention from all the external material needs and trying to fulfill them all, you just start putting more emphasis on your real needs. A lot of the time, we just go out on this shopping spree simply because we're trying to fill in something inside of us that is just feeling like a void or an empty space. But if we start fulfilling the true needs, those needs that we cannot buy on a shelf and we cannot constantly replace, like if they were items on a to-do list, those could be our relationships, connections with friends, how we contribute in our community, etc. The list goes on. And we start doing that discernment. You just start feeling more fulfilled with less stuff. And stuff really accumulates. It builds up. So it's important to do this self-awareness, self-screening process from now on. If you're interested in making a shift, a mind shift, before you acquire any item, and question yourself, do I already have an item existing in my household, in my life, that can perform this function from A to B, whatever that is? Let's suppose I need a little coffee table, just an additional one to put my computer, because I like to, when I'm having my drink, to also work while I'm perhaps sitting somewhere comfortable, but I need a short one. Well, maybe I have a couple of stools kicking around that I can repaint or reuse for that function, or something that I can creatively put together and I don't need. And then I'll be more fulfilled as well by making, that decision. Or maybe I already have other little tables kicking around in the house or in the garage or in the past, and I can bring them back to life. So as long as we're making that discernment all the time before we make that choice to buy something, we'll feel that our lives will simplify. We'll need to acquire less in terms of material things. What we do acquire will have a true purpose, and it will be a conscious, mindful choice rather than something that we're just buying compulsively or in a reactive mode because we went out, into society and we saw something very attractive and we're being targeted, as an audience, and we just go for it and we make an impulsive decision. Make sure the decisions are yours. Make sure that these are true needs that supply a need in your life and satisfy something you really need rather than something you just want. There's nothing wrong occasionally with wanting something, but when every single one of our purchases are just like frivolous and we keep recycling clothing just because there's a new fashion and new clothing, well, we gotta reassess how that plays out in our lives and what is the impact, the stress on our wallets, on our need to give away our life energy to work in order to make more money to pay for these items, and also on the planet. What happens? All that clothing, all those extra stuff that we get, it needs to eventually go out there and usually goes back in the garbage unless we really have a person that can use it. So think before you act, and then align yourself with your heart, with your soul, see how it sits inside. Let that thought of desire sink down into your heart where you're already whole. You don't need fixing, you don't need anything additional, you have everything you need. And please, by making these conscious choices, if you do yours and I do mine, especially with this holiday season approaching, we'll create a beautiful world, simple world, but full of love and joy. So together we're stronger. You do it, I do it. Be yourself, I'll be myself, and let's make this happen. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe and leave your comments below, and I'll see you next videos. And share, please share as well. I need all of you and myself to make this a beautiful world. So love, peace, namaste.